Dear friends, today's heart-touching story will bring tears to your eyes. A poor boy wrote a letter addressed to God, saying, "Oh God, I need a little food for my mother and a set of clothes for myself." But who read this letter, and what miracle happened to this boy? Let's find out. In a small village, there was a madrasa where children came to memorize the Quran. In one corner of the madrasa sat a poor boy named Hassan. His clothes were torn and old, and his innocent face looked sad. Suddenly, a boy pushed Hassan and mocked him, saying, "Hey, your clothes look so strange. Are you here to study or to work at a tea stall?" Another boy laughed and said, "Our fathers buy us everything. Where is your father?" A third boy taunted, "Oh, I forgot. Your father is dead." Hassan's helplessness was evident. He stood silently, his eyes filled with tears, but he said nothing. The madrasa teacher, a kind-hearted man, did not say anything, but he felt deeply saddened. Hassan quietly sat by the wall, his head down, wiping his tears. Soon, the madrasa was dismissed. Hassan wiped his eyes and walked home. Hassan's home was a small, broken-down hut. Inside, his widowed mother was cooking bread over the stove, but her face showed signs of exhaustion and hunger. When Hassan arrived, he saw that his mother was fasting, but there was no food in the house. On the stove, there was only a half-burnt, dry piece of bread. Hassan said, "Mother, all the children at the madrasa wear new clothes." His mother smiled and replied, "Inshallah, my son, you will also have new clothes one day." But deep down, she knew it was impossible. Hassan fell silent, his face filled with disappointment. At the time of iftar, Hassan's mother secretly avoided eating and gave all the food to Hassan. But Hassan noticed that she was sleeping hungry even while fasting. At midnight, Hassan woke up and saw his mother praying on the prayer mat, crying. She was saying, "Oh God, give my son happiness. Make his Eid a joyful one. Give him the things that I could not provide." Hearing his mother's heartfelt prayers, Hassan started sobbing. But he couldn't bear to see his mother crying. He quickly took a piece of paper and a pen, sat in a corner, and began writing slowly. "Oh God, all the other children have nice clothes. I also want new clothes. All the families have food for iftar, but my house has nothing. My mother sleeps hungry every night. She lies to me, saying she has eaten, but I know she hasn't. Oh God, I am not asking for much, just one set of clothes for Eid and some food for my mother. Ameen." With tears in his eyes, Hassan placed the letter before him and fell into prostration, sobbing. His heart was filled with hope. He thought, if no one else hears me, at least God will. Hassan didn't know where to post the letter. The next morning, as he left for the madrasa, he placed the letter near the donation box at the mosque and walked away, hoping that maybe, just maybe, someone would bring something for him. His innocent face looked hopeful, as if his prayer would be answered at any moment. Hassan then wandered toward the marketplace. The streets were lined with shops displaying beautiful Eid clothes, shoes, and toys. Children stood happily with their fathers, buying new clothes and gifts. Hassan watched from a distance, his eyes gleaming with longing. But when he looked down at his torn slippers and worn-out clothes, the sparkle in his eyes faded. For a moment, he gathered the courage to stand near a shop where a beautiful white kurta was displayed. Innocently, he asked the shopkeeper, "Uncle, how much is this kurta?" The shopkeeper looked at Hassan's ragged clothes and laughed mockingly, "Son, this is not for you. Move along." Ashamed, Hassan stepped back silently. His eyes filled with tears, but he held them back and walked to the madrasa. During class, Hassan sat quietly, lost in thought. A boy sneered at him, "Hey beggar, what new outfit will you wear on Eid? Or will you wear those same old clothes?" Another boy laughed, "Looks like even Allah didn't listen to his prayers." All the children laughed loudly. Hassan remained silent, his eyes lowered, his fingers twisting as he stared at the ground. His teachers saw everything but remained quiet. Tears welled up in Hassan's eyes as he thought, maybe God didn't even read my letter. Or maybe I'm not a good child. When school ended, he returned home. He found his mother sitting wrapped in an old sheet, exhausted from fasting. He asked, "Mother, what will we eat today?" His mother forced a smile and said, "Son, do your ablution first, then we'll see." As Hassan went to perform ablution, his mother quietly covered her face with her scarf and wept. There was nothing to eat for iftar. When the call to prayer signaled the time for iftar, Hassan eagerly looked up, hoping for a miracle. But there was only a piece of dry bread and a glass of water in front of them. He looked at his mother and immediately understood there was nothing left for him. His mother forced a smile and said, "Son, you eat." "I'm not hungry." Hassan silently drank the water, tears filling his eyes. In his heart, he prayed, "Oh God, when will you listen to me? When will my mother be happy?" He sat at a street corner, picked up a pen and paper, and began writing again, his hands trembling. "Oh God, are you upset with me? Am I asking for too much? I have nothing. My mother sleeps hungry. I don't say anything, but you can give everything, right? Then why don't you give it to me? Have you not read my letter? Or am I not a good child?" Tears streamed down his face as he wrote. He fell into prostration, praying, but soon exhaustion overtook him, and he fainted. His mother found him unconscious on the floor and panicked. She picked him up and hugged him tightly, crying, "Oh God, please end my child's suffering. Have mercy on him." The next morning, Hassan prepared for the madrasa but stopped when he saw his mother. She looked extremely weak, barely able to sit near the stove. Her face was pale with fatigue. She forced a smile and said, "Son, go to the madrasa and study. One day, you will become a scholar." Hassan nodded, but his mind was elsewhere. As he walked, he changed his decision. "If I work today, maybe I can earn some money and buy food for my mother." Instead of going to the madrasa, he went to the marketplace, where laborers were working. There was noise everywhere, people coming and going, shops open, and workers lifting heavy loads. Hassan hesitated but gathered the courage to ask for work. He approached a shopkeeper and said, "Uncle, please give me some work. I can do anything." The shopkeeper laughed, "This work isn't for you. Go play instead." Hassan went to others, but everyone ignored him. Then, without knowing, he met the cruelest man in the market. His name was Kaleem, a harsh, ruthless man. He glared at Hassan and said, "Hey boy, do you want work?" Hassan quickly nodded, "Yes, uncle." Kaleem growled, "Then come here. Carry these sacks to the warehouse." Hassan's labor had begun. With his small hands, he lifted heavy sacks. The scorching sun burned his tired body, and he was fasting, but he did not stop. Sometimes the sacks were too heavy and he would fall, but Kaleem would shout, "Hey, are you here to work or play? Get up." Hassan quickly got up and continued working. Evening came, and Hassan, completely exhausted, approached Kaleem for his wages. He walked up to him with tired steps and said softly, "Uncle, my payment?" Kaleem sneered and laughed. "Payment? Did you break a mountain? Get lost." Shocked, Hassan pleaded, "Uncle, I worked all day." Kaleem's eyes flashed with anger. "Get out or I'll beat you." Tears filled Hassan's eyes. Folding his hands, he begged, "Uncle, just a little money. My mother is fasting, and I need to buy food for her." Kaleem was unmoved. He shoved Hassan away. Hassan's heart broke. Once again, he took out a piece of paper, his tears falling as he wrote, "Oh God, if you haven't read my letter, this is my last one. I have come by God's command to help you," said Abdul Rahman Sahib, looking at Hassan. "Son, you will never have to sleep hungry again. I will give you a new life." Hassan, surprised, asked, "Will I still be able to go to the madrasa? Will my mother no longer have to starve?" With a gentle smile, Abdul Rahman Sahib placed his hand on Hassan's head and reassured him, "Your mother will not suffer anymore, and you will be able to do everything you have always wanted." As they were leaving the hospital, a man suddenly rushed towards them, snatched Abdul Rahman Sahib's wallet, and ran away. Shocked, he exclaimed, "Thief!" Without a second thought, Hassan sprinted after the thief. The man weaved through narrow alleys, but Hassan chased him with all his strength. The thief tried to hide in a deserted lane, but Hassan reached him in no time. "That money was meant to help the poor. Give it back," Hassan shouted. The thief laughed mockingly and said, "Run away, beggar boy, or you'll get beaten up." But Hassan did not back down. He lunged forward and grabbed the thief's hand. The man shoved him hard, and Hassan fell to the ground. Still, he refused to give up. His cries for help attracted some bystanders, who caught the thief. Abdul Rahman Sahib arrived, picked Hassan up, and, overwhelmed with emotion, said, "Son, you risked your life." Hassan, with a soft smile, replied, "That money was meant for the poor. I couldn't let it go to waste." When Hassan returned home, he was stunned. His house was transformed: a clean room, fresh food, and a new bedsheet. His mother, equally astonished, looked at Abdul Rahman Sahib and asked, "Is this all for us?" With a warm smile, he replied, "Yes, sister. From now on, you will live with me. No one in this house will ever sleep hungry again." Hassan was happy but suddenly looked sad. Noticing this, Abdul Rahman Sahib gently asked, "What's wrong, son? Aren't you happy?" Hassan hesitated before asking, "This is all wonderful, but can I still go to the madrasa? Can I memorize the Quran?" Abdul Rahman Sahib's heart swelled with joy. He embraced Hassan and said, "Son, I can give you everything in the world, but what you desire is the most precious of all. You will surely become a scholar, and I will support you fully." Tears welled up in Hassan's eyes. This time, they were tears of happiness. The next morning at dawn, Hassan sat in a small room in Abdul Rahman Sahib's house, reciting the Quran. His face radiated peace, joy, and gratitude. Dressed in clean clothes, he held a brand new Quran, his first ever gift from Abdul Rahman Sahib. Standing by the door, Abdul Rahman Sahib watched him, tears in his eyes. He reflected, "This is the same child who once slept hungry, who had nothing. But today, he holds the most precious thing, the Quran." Hassan's mother approached, placed her hand on his head, and said lovingly, "Son, I always prayed that you would become a scholar. Today, I see that Allah has answered our prayers." Tears streamed down Hassan's face as he softly replied, "Mother, God has always listened to me. It was I who lacked patience." Dressed in new clothes and filled with hope, Hassan arrived at the madrasa. The same children who once mocked him now stared in surprise. One of the boys who used to make fun of him hesitantly approached and said, "Hassan, forgive me. I made fun of you a lot." Hassan smiled and replied, "It's okay. God has taught me that after every hardship comes ease." The children were amazed. This was the same Hassan who once felt hopeless, yet now he was the most content and confident among them. Their teacher gathered the students and said, "Children, today, Hassan is an example for all of us. He was once a boy who had nothing, but he never lost faith in God, loved the Quran, and never stopped praying. And today, he has everything he wished for." The students looked at Hassan with admiration, some even tearing up. Meanwhile, at the mosque, Abdul Rahman Sahib stood before the congregation, holding a letter. "This is a letter written by a child, to God." The mosque fell silent. As he began reading, the worshippers listened intently. "O God, I only asked for a little food and one set of clothes. You listened to everyone's prayers. Why not mine?" As he continued reading, people's eyes filled with tears. Finally, with a heavy heart, he revealed, "This letter was written by Hassan, and God answered his prayers. But how many orphan children's prayers have gone unheard? How many like Hassan still sleep hungry while we remain unaware?" Heads bowed in shame. Some were deeply moved, and a few had tears of guilt and remorse in their eyes. Suddenly, one man stood up and declared, "We won't let this happen anymore. We will help all the poor children in our neighborhood." Another agreed, "Yes, we must all learn from Hassan's story so that no child suffers from hunger and abandonment again." A wave of change and determination spread through the mosque. That night, Hassan sat on his bed, holding his letter, gazing at the sky. His final words were a heartfelt prayer. "O God, forgive me. I complained to you. I thought you hadn't read my letter. But not only did you read it, you changed my destiny." Tears flowed down his face, but this time, they were tears of gratitude. He hugged the Quran close to his heart and whispered, "You have given me the most precious thing in the world, your words. I will never let them go." Hassan's story is not just his own, it is a lesson for all of us. It beautifully illustrates love for the Quran, trust in God, and the strength of patience. It reminds us that every orphan like Hassan holds on to hope. We just need to be the means of fulfilling it. And so, the final thought lingers. Every orphan looks toward God, but how many of us choose to be an Abdul Rahman Sahab? This story will remain a lasting lesson. If it touched your heart, share it, so others may also reflect and bring change to their lives.